everybody, this is Dan O'Connor, and instead of talking about communication today, I thought I would give you a special treat. This is actually dedicated to my sister-in-law, Michelle, because the other day she asked me to help her out, not in communication, but in decorating. She asked me to come over to her house and give her some advice. I like to have systems that I use to decorate just as I do to communicate, because it makes it simple, easy, and beautiful in the end. And when I went to her house to help her put a room together, I realized that there were quite a few things that she could use some tips for. So this is dedicated to you, Michelle. Today we're going to learn how to put together a beautiful and inexpensive flower arrangement that'll look like $1 million. Everyone will say, wow, what great flowers you have. So here's what you want to do. Remember, with flowers, go big. Go big or go home. With flowers, always get a big, beautiful vase. You can go to, now you might not think this is beautiful, I like it, and it goes kind of with the motif of my Mexican village mountain chateau. So if you go to a thrift store in the States or go to some secondhand store, no matter where you are, you should be able to find a big vase. I like to get a vase that is two-toned. I don't like to get one that has too many colors, because that tends to clash with flowers. So get a big vase, the bigger the better. You can't really go too big with flowers, because as you'll see, the next step is putting your flowers in. We can put water in, of course, now, but I'm going to put that in at the end, and I'll tell you why when we get there. When I make a flower arrangement, I like to make it simple, easy, and beautiful. If you are like me and just want to quick have a flower arrangement that looks like it could be at the Four Seasons hotel lobby, remember, monochromatic is the key. You want to go with one color. A lot of people, when they put together flower arrangements, they try to mix and match different colors and different styles, and it ends up looking like a big mishmash, pish-posh of like a country wildflowers. And unless you're going for a country motif, it's not going to really work in most environments. So here's what I do. I do this the same way every about 10 days. I always have fresh flowers in my home. And people think, oh, it's so expensive to always have fresh flowers. It's not expensive at all. If you invest, let's say, I get fresh flowers about every 10 days to 2 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks. You can make your arrangement last 2 weeks. Let's say 10 days. If you get fresh flowers every 10 days, that's about 30 arrangements a year. And let's say that you spend $15 on every arrangement. That's what, $450? My math right about that? So for $450 per year, you can have a stunning arrangement of flowers in your room that everybody will notice all the time, and everyone will think, gosh, did they win the lottery, and how can they afford to do that? So, and your house will always smell nice. You know, fresh flower, there's nothing really beats it. Never put fake flowers or plants in your home, ever. All right, so here's what I do every single week. I go out and I get 5 of these lilies. I think they're called lilies. You can get whatever you want, but go big and go monochromatic. Remember that, to make it easy. Unless you're a professional decorator, then you can do whatever you want. But, so I get 5 of these, and I'll show you why, because now when I say monochromatic, it's going to have green leaves, but I go white flowers. Or sometimes I'll get pink flowers. Oh, I'm disappearing. You can do pink flowers, you can do yellow flowers, but just make sure that whatever flower color you choose, if you want to make it quick and easy and you're not sure, go with 1, and that's it. Just get a bunch of them. I get 5 sticks, or branches, or whatever you call them. So here you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, simple. Now look at that, 5 big flowers in a big vase, and it already looks chic, right? I mean, I could leave it like that. So if you're on a super duper budget, just get 5 flowers and stick them in a vase, you're done. Also, one of the things that I like to do is, when you have juice, they have these fancy juice bottles now, like retro juice. I'll have one of these when I'm finished with it. Maybe if I have a guest over, I'll clip one of these little flowers, stick it in a nice retro bottle like that next to the bedstand. They'll pass out. They'll be like, oh my gosh, when did they become such a homemaker? So, we're almost finished, but now you want to add some filler. People go overboard with filler. Don't go overboard with filler. Just get something, like right now it's just a little plain for my tastes. So I'm going to add, I got, again, monochromatic. Some white little flowers with green foliage, And you don't need to fill in all the spaces. Just stick them in like that. What I do is I'll put just a little bit in between each one of the flower sticks. So I have 5 flowers. So I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you place your flowers, remember, you don't want it to stick straight up. I kind of place it in at an angle, as you can see here, because then it gives some, it looks more natural. It looks as if, yeah, so I went to the market on my way back from buying some baguettes, and I just bought some of these fresh flowers, threw them in a vase, and that's how it pops out. So you want it to look effortless. Now the last touch is you want to have some hanging stuff. You want to have some, like 5 things. By the way, these flowers, this whole arrangement cost 150 pesos, like $12. I'm not sure how much it would be where you are, but it's generally about the same. So it's just 5 flowers, a couple bucks a piece generally, and then a couple of filler things, which are generally a couple of dollars. Now this last filler thing I'm going to show you. This is not really a filler. These are to add some cascade elements, because that's really going to make it wow. I'm going against my monochromatic rule, and I'll tell you why. They were out of the green ones. These, they call them monedas here. I don't know what they call them in the States. These are those things that when you go into a flower store, there's that smell every flower store has. You're like, oh, it smells so good in here. These are what make flower stores smell so good. They last forever. The reason I have these is because once you buy them, you only need to buy really a set of these once every 6 months, because you can throw all of your flowers away, but these last forever. So after everything else dries up and stinks and you throw it in the garbage, take these aside, and they still smell. Like this still smells like a flower store, and it works for my cascade element. So I would prefer that these would be green, and I used to have some green ones, but my housekeeper threw them out, thanks Olga. So I'm just going to stick them like this. Watch how this transforms the whole arrangement. Bam! Wow! Oh my gosh, did a professional do this? No, it's just us here on YouTube. Okay, so here you go. Cascade over there. Now watch. Now you really want to let these go to the side. See, like this? Watch. See how that's hanging off the side? That's just how you want it. So don't make it stick up. Again, you want it to look effortless. And I actually don't mind this red. Some of you out there are like, I like a pop of color. So if you like a pop of color, fine, go with red. It's just not my taste. So there you go. That is it. Now the last thing I want to tell you is I haven't put, now look at this. Look at this. It's beautiful from every angle. That looks like a very expensive, it's overwhelming. That looks like a very expensive arrangement, and it was like 12 bucks. You put one of these in your living room. It lasts about, as I said, about 10 days, sometimes more, sometimes less. You can put little pills in the water, put an aspirin in the water, and it lasts longer. But if you always have these in your space, if you have this arrangement in just about any room, and you put on a little jazz music, I like Pink Martini just came out with a great new album for 2014, Pink Martini, look it up, it's on YouTube, it's awesome. Put that on in the background, you have a little wine, maybe some cheese, and it's got some fresh goat cheese and baguettes actually. That's a party. People will be like, oh my gosh, they're so chic, when did they learn that? Well, right here. So you just a little cheese, a little wine, little flowers, and these always, you never want fake flowers, and you never want fake scents in your house, ever. So if you use stuff like Glade or Airwick, that's, never do that again. This is going to be cheaper, it smells better, and it's beautiful and chic. And by the way, flowers of this nature tend to, the scent tends to come out at night. And so if during the daytime you're like, I'm not getting the smell. They smell during the day, but it's at night when the aroma fills the air. So again, great time for some candles, soft music, little drinky party. It's a great day here at the O'Connor household. So there you go. Last tip. I told you I was going to put the water in at the end. Here's why. You'll notice that there are many blooms here that have not yet opened. There are a lot that have yet to open. And one easy trick to get your flowers to open quickly, like I'm having some people over tomorrow and I want to make sure that they're in bloom, is to use hot water. Not boiling hot, but hot from the tap. Not scalding, but really, really warm. When you put it in there, look the next morning and boom, your flowers will have bloomed. Now they won't last quite as long, but if you're in a pinch and need them to bloom, That's how you do it. Then throw in a couple aspirins, and it'll make it last a little bit longer to balance out the fact that you forced them to bloom. So, there you go. Is that chic or what? I mean, there you go. Simple, easy, monochromatic, have just a little filler, go big, big flowers, big vase, have some cascading elements. You can use some green leaves. You know, this time of year, it's springtime, beautiful cascading elements are tree branches that are starting to bloom that might have those little fuzzy blooms on it or little blossoms. Beautiful. Also, those make a great arrangement by themselves. Take one branch, stick it in a small vase, put it on a shelf. People will be like, oh my gosh, did you just get back from Asia? Did you learn that there? And you can say, yes, I did. So there you go. That's my tip from Dan. Beautiful arrangement on a budget. Get one about every 10 days and it will transform your living space. Watch out because people will want to hang out at your house more. Check back next week. I'll try to throw up another tip. I think next week I'm going to talk about simple furniture placement. That's for you, Michelle. How to arrange a room so that people want to sit in it.